Here in London, it is another busy day of celebrations. The skies look lovely at Buckingham Palace, though. Over here at Potter's Field, the rain has begun. The Diamond Jubilee marking Queen Elizabeth's 60 years on the throne. More than 1 million people lined the banks of the Thames River yesterday, braving some nasty weather to watch a display of pageantry that was truly fit for a queen. Mark Phillips is with us, one of the many braving it on the water yesterday.
Well, you might have thought that 1,000 boats and 1 million people would have been enough of a celebration for one queen, but you'd be wrong. This is a 4-day weekend, a 4-day celebration, and not just here.
Long to reign over.
Not only is this celebration of the Queen's Jubilee going on for days, it's going on around the world. This bonfire beacon is one of many being lit today in all the countries of which the Queen is head of state. She herself, once she presumably warms up from her travails of yesterday, will light the last beacon in London tonight after another series of events. But everybody is still talking about the Great River pageant that will be remembered as being as British a celebration as you could possibly have, about royalty, nostalgia, tradition, and terrible weather. Nothing harks back to the days of glory when Britannia ruled the waves like a river full of 1,000 boats, and with the Queen on a royal barge at the head of them. This being the 21st century, the royal barge was a converted river cruiser made fit for a queen, but it's the thought that counts.
We don't mind. We've got waterproof coats,
waterproof trousers.
We've got coats. We've got food. we've got good company.
Boy, did they have company. The crowd, which stretched for miles along the riverbank and across its bridges, was estimated at well over 1 million. And if the weather was cold and wet, so much the better for demonstrating the quality the British so admire in themselves and their queen, pluck. This pageant was a very British event, even down to the weather. There hasn't been one like it for 350 years, and it may be at least that long until there's another. The inspiration for this pageant came from an old painting by Canaletto of this river pageant in the 1700s. The River Thames was then London's main street, and for a day it was again. This celebration was about creating nostalgia for the future, and it supplied images galore. This 4-day celebration is taking many forms. Nothing would take this queen away from this year's biggest horse race, so Epsom Derby Day was conveniently folded into the weekend's events. And for those not able to get to the big festivities, there have been hundreds of small ones, street parties held across the land. But what people will be talking about was this, the lasting image of an 86-year-old woman standing in the rain, watching the boats go by, and returning the tribute of her people.
So the Jubilee pageant, the Jubilee horse race, the Jubilee street parties, tonight the Jubilee concert, the Jubilee picnics, and tomorrow the Jubilee church service. Had enough yet?
No, bring it. I would like more, Mark Phillips. So the weather sort of kicking up here. I love that in your piece you said the weather was very British, which seemed to be the assessment of everyone yesterday, that it wasn't really a big deal. You were made to do this if you were British.
It almost added to the occasion, in fact, this idea of through thick and thin, of carry on regardless and that kind of thing. I thought the weather would, in fact, keep the crowds a little lower, below estimates, but none of
Definitely
that.
not.
No, it was quite something.
What was it like, though, there's the spectacle and everything on the river, which had to have been incredible. Also, was it as cold and wet as I imagined?
No, it was colder and wetter than you imagined. But we were all warmed, of course, by Her Majesty's presence. No, it was, for all that happened and all the weather that happened and what have you, it's just one of the things that people will be talking about. That, and if it had been a bright sunny day, it would have been nice. The fact it was a lousy day made it even kind of more of an event, that people braved it, came out, and had a good time.
And that the Queen stood that entire ride, wouldn't go inside or even have a cup of tea, I'm told.
Never sat down.
Not bad. Mark, nice to see you in person.
Thank you.